go, Junior. They already know what time it is.
T-Bug Crawford.
Yeah.
What's going on, you guys? The Spence and Crawford fight. As we continue to get fighters, trainers, the people in the boxing world's pick. Kenny Porter says that size will be an advantage for Errol Spence in this fight. Now, Kenny Porter, the father and trainer of Shawn Porter, went up against both guys. They're familiar with both guys, and he knows both guys very well. And Kenny Porter seems to believe that size will be an advantage for Spence, not to mention he's a true southpaw. But he says this: I had a long relationship with Errol, working with him in the Amateurs World Championship team camps, and worked with him when he came out here to spar Floyd. Terence was on the international squad with us. We traveled so much. We were in the Pan Am games. He was on the Pan Am team with Shawn. I haven't broken them down yet to see who, what, when, and where. Just from my eyes of going up against both of them, Errol is definitely the bigger man that night on the fight night, and that's definitely an advantage for him, also being a southpaw. So he said him on fight night is going to be a huge advantage because he's going to be much bigger than Crawford. Now, Danny Garcia, what he did say about Errol Spence was that his presence in the ring, he was just big in there. His presence was just something that was hard to deal with, right? And I believe also he felt that aura of Errol Spence. You know, the aura of Errol Spence, you got to be able to deal with these guys' auras in the ring. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? He says Terence, on the other hand, is super slick and switching sides, which creates problems for everybody. Both guys have some advantages. I would say right now the size differential will be the biggest advantage for Errol. So the size differential. But if we see Crawford more recently, he looks like he put on some size. Now, Errol Spence is naturally the bigger guy. I mean, he's been at welterweight majority of his career. He started off at 154 middleweight, and then he came on down to 147. That's where he's been at majority of his career. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, was a lightweight. He's more of a thinner guy, and he grew into the welterweight division. Errol Spence is probably really a middleweight, like Danny Garcia said. I would definitely say Errol when Kenny asked which of the two fighters, Spence or Crawford, gave Shawn Porter the most problems. So he said Errol gave Shawn Porter the most problems in that fight. And it was a tit for tat, back and forth fight. I spoke about that fight in my more recent video talking about the Spence and Crawford. Round by round, every way, I thought Shawn was right there with Crawford. It was just a few mental mistakes on his behalf that put him in the situation he was in. But definitely Errol Spence. So Errol Spence, he felt, was the more tougher fight for his son, Shawn Porter. And he said it would definitely be Errol when asked if it was Spence or Crawford that the first caught his eyes years ago. The first time I went up against Errol, he was 18 years old, and that was in the U.S. Championships, and he beat my guy that was presenting Region 5. That was the first time that I knew that he was good. Moving on from there, when he had the Olympic team, and he was part of the Olympic team, and I was part of the coaching staff. Yes, we know Kenny Porter was all involved with the Olympic team and the amateur scene. And Kenny Porter, you know, he worked with a lot of fighters on their come up, right? And the sparring that he had, which is legendary now with Adrian Broner, he did really good that day. That let you know that he was ready to do some good things in the World Championships, said Porter about Spence. So in the sparring session, he was obviously there with him and Adrian Broner, and we heard about that sparring session years ago. Errol Spence didn't really want to, brag on it or anything like that, beating up on AB. But allegedly he knocked out AB, a flash knocked down him or knocked him out or whatever in sparring, right? And, Errol Spence being cool with AB, he didn't want to say, blah, blah, blah. But he did kind of say he did. It is what it is. It's sparring, it happens. Not to mention, Errol Spence is a naturally bigger guy than Adrian, the problem, Broner. So, yeah, that's just a different take. I'm going to be going back and forth. I'm not about to just go for all of Crawford's picks or people that favor Crawford. Or, I'm going to have to, mix it up and give some Spence picks as well. And Kenny Porter, he hasn't really fully broken it down yet, gave his true pick yet, but he said the biggest advantage in this fight for either guy is Spence's size. So, yeah, we're going to see how that plays out when this thing goes down. Hit that like button for your boy. Peace out.